Hello, welcome back. A few weeks ago, I got a request from a young lady, Jasmine Otis, in Alaska, to do a video on the mental game. So, Jasmine, it's my pleasure to do a video on the mental game. And I've seen your video in Alaska, and it's just magnificent with all that snow and ice and everything else. So, well done. Anyway, the mental game. But before we get to the mental game, I just want to say, good friend of mine, Martin Collum, we were at a competition today. Martin is an international shooter and he's a good friend of mine. And he said to me, Roger, how are you going to justify 69 out of 75 for point score? And the sun even shines on a dog's bottom sometimes, because with a 69.75, I actually won first in A grade. 69.75. That was one miss and 3 double barrels. So my good friend Martin, good scores or bad scores, I come up with it. I don't just publicise my good scores, my good friend. And you still owe me that Castellano hat. Anyway, down to business, the mental game. And that's what trap shooting is all about. The front cover is all messed up because that's what the mental game is. It's very messy and we can't let the mental game interfere with us. And there at the bottom is self-belief, and that's what it's all about. Self-belief. Now, you might think, what does travel have to do with self-belief? Well, if we're not in a good state of mind, we're not going to shoot well. So when we travel to a shoot, if it's a long distance, get there the day before. You can't drive for hours and hours and hours and hours and then expect to shoot well. It's hard to drive 3 or 4 hours and be prepared to shoot your normal game if you have had to get up so early. You will be tired, sleep deprived, and out of routine. Ensure that we get a good night's sleep. Lack of sleep affects our mental alertness, coordination, and ability to stay focused. Have accommodation as close as possible to the shooting venue so you don't have to travel far. And if it's a 2 or 3 day shoot, do not party on at night. Okay, so that's part of it. All of us have a primary routine. What's our primary routine? Well, our primary routine is every good shooter will have their routine as second nature to them. And that is foot position, gun mount, visual hold, gun hold. And it all comes naturally to a shooter who's been shooting for a while without having to think about it. But a lot of people have a secondary routine. And that's those funny little habits. And I have funny little habits too. And so my secondary routine is what you do to assist you in confidence, calmness, and concentration. So what are my funny little habits? Well, before it's my turn to shoot, I wipe my hand on my towel, I adjust my shooting glasses, and I adjust my cap. These little actions give me calmness, confidence, and concentration, and stops negative thoughts coming into my head. If it helps you, do it. Whatever little quirky thing you do in between you're waiting for your shot, if it helps you to calm you and everything else, do it. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you a really interesting way to stop negative thoughts from coming into your head. And so, we move on to concentration. When you get to a competition, switch off the mobile phone and do not switch it back on until the end of the day's competition. You can't concentrate if you're texting, watching your phone and everything else. You've got to be 100% focused on the job, which is we're there to break clothes. Do not be too relaxed. You've got to have a bit of aggression towards the shot. And sometimes in a comp, I'll shoot 15 out of 15. You start to think, oh, this is a piece of cake. And then suddenly you drop one. And focus on that clay. Watch that clay as if our life depends on it. Do not call pull in a wimpy way. You've got to have some authority in your voice. And be prepared and organised. Earplugs, glasses, shoe protector, ammunition, water. If everything is ready, then you are in a good mental state when your squad is called. You don't want your squad called, then you have to rush to your car, and then you go to the lane and you forgot your earplugs and stuff like that. So organisation all helps with everything that goes on up there. Self-belief. This is what the mental game is all about. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you, and if you don't believe in yourself, your shooting won't be as good. You've got to believe in yourself. So you've got to believe that any competitor is beatable. On any given day, any competitor is beatable. You won't beat them all the time, but on some days, everyone is beatable. You've got to get that into our heads. Self-belief is the most important element in our bag of skills. We have to believe in ourselves. Confidence can be diminished with one poor round, but self-belief will pull us back up. So our confidence can get knocked down very easily. It's the self-belief that keeps us up there. On the 3rd of January this year, I went out to practice. I missed my first 3 targets. And during the round, I missed another 3 for a score of 19 out of 25. In the second round, I missed my first 2 targets, hit the next 2, and missed my 5th. So after 5 targets, I was 3 down. I then shot the next 20 for a 23 out of 25. And even though I started badly, it's self-belief that said, listen, come on, you can do this. And out of missing 3 out of 5, I then shot the next 20. In the third round, I shot a 24-25. With self-belief was what pulled me back up. And it's that self-belief that we have to nurture. And we're going to look at that in a second, how we nurture self-belief. Self-belief must be nurtured so that it can feed our confidence. Self-belief underpins everything we do. If we don't believe that we can shoot well, we won't. So what is the purpose of going to practice? The purpose of going to practice is to keep our skills at a high level, to build up our confidence. But the most important reason for going to practice is to build up our self-belief. Never leave a practice session feeling negative. That's important. Never leave a practice session feeling negative. Always leave confident and believing in yourself and your ability. So how do we do that? Easily. We set a small goal, such as shoot 5 out of 5 from stations 1, 3, and 5. And we don't leave until we achieve that goal. Or we say, I'm going to shoot 10 out of 10 from station 3, and I'm not going to leave until I shoot 10 straight from station 3. Now that's a small goal. You've always got to leave in a positive frame of mind, believing in your ability. The other thing in a competition is you don't want anything to mess with your mind. Do not look at the scoreboard until the completion of your round. If you see a few 50 out of 50s, when it's your turn to shoot, all you will be thinking about is, I've got to shoot a 50. That's not what we want. We concentrate on one target 50 times, not 50 targets as a whole. Self-belief will help us do that. So self-belief is what it's all about. We go to practice to maintain and increase our self-belief. We said that. Confidence can go down, but self-belief will restore it. And we've already said it, and I'm going to say it again. How? We set a goal and we achieve it. Shoot 5 out of 5 from station 1 and go home. Then you leave positive. Shoot 5 out of 5 single barrel. Do that and go home. Shoot 10 out of 10 from station 3. Do that and go home. Set a target, a small target, and go home. Always positive. And remember the 3 C's. Always stay cool, calm, and in control. Believe you are good, and you will be. Never give up. Now, I'm not telling you this to big note myself. I'm telling you this because it's important. In today's competition, out of 4 events, I won two events in A grade, and they weren't brilliant scores. And so I'm not telling you this to be a big head. I told you, in the point score, I shot a 69 out of 75. When I missed my full target, that's 3 points. I could have given up, and I could have said, oh, well, that's the end of this event. But I didn't. I kept plugging on and plugging on and plugging on, and I missed 1 target and pulled 3 double barrels. I never dreamed that a 69 would win the A grade today, but I didn't give up, and that poor score actually won A grade today. There you go. Same story in the single barrel. In the single barrel, I shot a 22 out of 25, and I missed an early target. And I thought, oh, well, there goes this event. But I plugged on and plugged on and plugged on, and I believed that I could still shoot a decent score. And in the single barrel, I shot a 22. And then in the shoot-off, that brought it off. Another person shot 22. And so I won it with a 23-26, A grade. That's not a brilliant score, but 23-26. I believed in myself. I never gave up. And it got me the results. The last thing I want to say, and thank you very much for watching, is when it's your turn to shoot, if negative stuff comes into your head, and we don't want negative stuff coming into our head, there's one very easy way to stop any thought coming into your head, and that's to hum a song quietly to yourself, because you don't want to disturb the people next to you. But if you hum a song quietly in your head, you can't think of anything else. So, what can I say? Thank you for watching. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you next time.